Thanks for joining us at 7. I'm Tracey McCain.
I'm Nuclo. You're watching Eyewitness News here on the Wax. A lot to get to this morning, including that breaking news in Hartford and New Britain. But first, let's say hello to meteorologist Scot Haney. Get a check on that first alert forecast. Hey, good morning, Scott.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
How are we doing with that fog out there?
It's still a little tough in Middletown, but as you can see from our, I'm going to show you some other iCams across the state. We're doing okay. But Middletown seems to be the worst of it, along with Rocky Hill. It's right down that Connecticut River Valley. Here's a look at Torrington, much better there. Look at a little bit of fog there in the distance. You can see it right here, but not too extensive, right? And we'll take you to Old Saybrook, the camera that wins. It's just an absolute winner. Glenda the Good Witch has shown up here with her orbs, just looking mostly sunny. First alert live radar, the only live radar in Connecticut scanning dry. We're expecting sunshine. And kids, we're rolling out the bus. Maybe you've joined us on the Wax to get your local forecast. We're rolling out the bus for the first time for many of you. And you're going to be outside for recess today with mostly sunny skies and temperatures topping out in the mid to upper 70s. Now, there's the visibility. 1/4 mile in Willimantic, 3.5 in Tolland, 2.5 in Putnam. Look at Danbury, goose eggs. That's not good. 4.5 in Salisbury, so please be careful. Satellite and radar, the clouds from yesterday that all stemmed from an area of low pressure have moved up into Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. So we're under mostly clear skies with the exception of that fog. And it's going to be a beautiful day of weather today with temperatures topping out in the mid to upper 70s. So just a degree or two cooler than normal. 80 is the normal high. We're going to be in the mid to upper 70s. So enjoy the day. It's going to be brighter than yesterday and comfortable with low levels of humidity. How long does it last? I've got those answers coming up in about 5 minutes. In the meantime, Marcy, good morning.
Good morning, Scott. We want to give you the first alert here. This is in Chester. We just learned about an incident here. This is a single vehicle crash. It's closing both ways, 154 in between Kirkland and Railroad. So just make sure that you keep that in the back of your mind if you're heading in that area. Other than that, things are running smoothly. However, we do want to reiterate what Scott just said about some of those areas with some patchy fog. Just make sure that you consider that if you are heading into some of those areas. We can see right even here in Middletown in the quad box there, it's starting to lift a little bit. But again, just keep that in the back of your mind before you head out the door. That's your Connecticut Chevy First Alert Traffic Report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
All right, we're on top of breaking news this morning. Crews are investigating a fire on Capon Street.
Yeah, that fire is out now, but there are still a lot of questions about the investigation. Your reporter Anna Stansfield has the latest from first responders.
The call came in around 4:20 this morning for a vacant structure tucked behind these two homes. You see here that smoke still billowing in the air. Earlier this morning when we got here, you'll see more smoke in the sky as fire crews worked to battle the fires here. The deputy fire chief telling us that it was a vacant structure, a small structure behind two homes, likely a shed that lit on fire, as I said, right around 4:20 this morning. They say the hardest part of this morning was accessing it as it was tucked behind homes. But once they got to it, it only took them about 30 to 35 minutes to put those flames out. The vacant building, a total loss. Two of the neighboring homes closest to that shed did suffer a little bit of damage. Nothing too major, though. Everyone has been allowed back into their homes. And again, no injuries reported here this morning, and no one has been displaced from their home. We know investigators are on their way right now to find out what caused this early morning fire here on Capon Street. And of course, as we learn more, we'll bring you those latest details both on air and online. I'm your reporter in Hartford, Anna Stansfield, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
We're following some breaking news here from overnight in New Britain, where a police investigation was happening near Main and North Streets. Look at your screen here. You can see that it was centering around that vehicle right there. You can see the car has shattered, damaged windows. We're working to get you more information here. We know that that car was just towed from the scene. As we get some more information, we'll bring it to you here on the air and also on the Channel 3 app.
We're also on top of breaking news from overnight in New London. Crews responding to a house fire there. Pinpoint News Tracker taking you to the scene. That fire department tells us the fire is under control. No word yet on whether anyone was hurt. You can stay with us for updates as we learn more.
All right, now police in New Haven need your help finding the suspect who they say shot and killed a man outside of a corner store in the middle of the day. Police responded to Chapel Street about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The victim was taken to the hospital where he died. It is the 5th deadly shooting in the city in less than 2 weeks. Officials do not believe they are related. If you have any information, call police.
Today, New Haven police are expected to give an update on the investigation into a separate deadly shooting that happened last month near the Yale University campus. Police telling us they've made several arrests. Investigators have previously said the shooting started as a fight between two groups of people. It happened just hours before some Yale students moved into their dorms. Students are encouraged to travel in groups and report suspicious activity to police.
Today in Hartford, gun violence prevention advocates will call on Congress to pass stricter gun violence measures. The urgent plea is in response to last week's deadly mass shooting at a Minnesota Catholic church where 2 young kids were killed. 18 other kids and 3 adults were hurt. Advocates are pushing for a ban on military-style assault weapons and some new rules for safe gun storage. Hundreds rallied in Minnesota yesterday for more gun violence prevention measures. And a somber day in Old Saybrook today as the community there marks 1 year since a deadly boat crash. 3 people were killed when that boat crashed into a jetty in the mouth of the Connecticut River. Prosecutors claim the boat's operator was drunk. He's facing 3 counts of manslaughter. And one of the victims was honored over the weekend with a bike ride and a run. Christopher Hallahan's family and friends came together on Sunday for Ride with Hal. Christopher's sister and close friends say that he loved biking and being outdoors, and they're hoping to keep his memory alive. Some of the money raised here will support boating safety efforts.
This morning, the Afghan government is saying over 1,400 people were killed. Thousands were hurt after a devastating earthquake hit Sunday night. Search efforts are now continuing this morning to find more injured and missing. Entire villages are destroyed. Crews were carrying out the injured on stretchers. Aftershocks and communication issues making rescue efforts even more difficult. This morning, Connecticut Food Share will receive more state funding to help fight food insecurity in our state. The Wallingford-based nonprofit says they've had dozens of trucks with food withheld in the past few months because of federal funding cuts. The organization says more than 500,000 people face food insecurity in our state. And today, members of Congress return to work after the August recess. Congress has a number of issues to work out, including passing a spending bill. The government will shut down at the end of the month without one. Senate Republicans also trying to push through nominations for the president's administration after Democrats blocked them before the break. Analysts will be watching to see if Congress takes up any gun control measures after last week's deadly mass shooting at a Minnesota church.
Happening today, early voting starts in a number of local primary elections. More than 20 cities and towns in our state are holding primaries for local office, including for mayor and town council. Early voting continues through Sunday before primary day happens next Tuesday, September 9th. You should check with your local election office to find out if there are any races in your community. And keep in mind here, you must be registered as a Republican or a Democrat to vote in these primary elections. New voters can register to vote through next Monday. You can also declare or change the party on your registration through Monday. Everyone will be able to vote in the general election. That's on November 4th.